You're listening to the Casual Swinger Podcast. As your host, we need to warn you that the material you're about to hear may be sexual or explicit in nature. This podcast is intended for an adult audience. Now, we don't expect you to act like adults. What's the fun in that?
We're a married couple living in Florida with over 13 years of experience in the lifestyle, and we take almost nothing seriously. Casual Swinger is a variety show, meaning we'll cover everything from music to events, travel, and even the occasional hilarious screw-up. Our show is about entertainment. We're not licensed professionals.
At anything.
And our stories, commentary, and guidance should not be confused with the opinions of a licensed professional.
Now that you know, let's take those pants off and get comfy.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Casual Swinger. My name's Mickey.
And I'm Mallory.
It's always the same sexy little voice that comes out of you. Unless you're mad at me.
That's true, which I've been a little cranky tonight with like all the packing and just working so much this week to make sure I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and I don't think you're ever ready to go. They're like, oh my God, Mallory's leaving. We need to dump all the work on her, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
So by the time our listeners listen to Feels Like the First Time, which is the name of this episode, we're going to be on the beach in Jamaica.
That is true. Not to brag or anything.
I don't think it's bragging. We're taking one for the team. We're jumping down and we're going, hey, if we make it through this trip unscathed, it's safe-ish as long as you take precautions.
Yes. Yeah, science and stuff.
And fill out lots of paperwork.
Oh my gosh, so much paperwork. I will say that I have a lot of respect for the country and island of Jamaica because they have taken a lot of steps for safety precautions, documents, testing. I really do feel like I kind of signed my life away.
A little bit. It was like getting a mortgage. Like the package of paperwork that we normally take to Hedo would fit in a standard envelope normally. And we have a package of paperwork that wouldn't fit in a backpack right now. With all the crap
I don't know if
it's
it's that much. But at the same time, like I appreciate that they're taking these precautions. And, you know, we got our brain swabbed. That was fun.
Yeah, that was the third time for me. I just want you to know.
Yeah. Whatever.
And it was not as bad. The one that I got in Jamaica back when I went to write the article for ASN and just kind of cover some of the reopening, that one was bad. It was like maybe she was a newbie but she was convinced that wherever COVID was, it was behind my brainstem and spinal cord.
In all fairness, they do have to get back there pretty far for the tests to be accurate. So it's very uncomfortable, but it's not like searing pain.
No.
Come on.
No. And, you know, I really am proud that Jamaica's, you know, our home away from home, because these guys really, really, really put the precautions and thought and science-based approaches to reopening their economy and getting people in down there. So the first thing, if you guys don't know it, that you have to do if you want to visit the island of Jamaica, and that depends. I mean, if you're going to Sandals or Hedo, it doesn't matter. It's all in what they call the resilient corridor. And that resilient corridor is a huge part of the economy for that side of the island. So the first thing you have to do is you have to get a COVID test within 10 days. Of
less than 10 days.
Yes. So, that's basically 9 days is what it boils down to. And it needs to be a test from a CLIA, C-L-I-A, certified lab, or ISO, I think it's 1598. But
that sounds right.
CLIA is the one that you really want to go after. It can't be
no rapid tests.
Yeah, well, rapid tests usually aren't, right? But so there's some recommendations for it. I'm going to put all that in the travel notes for anybody that's looking for it, but it is well documented on visitjamaica.com. You can, you know, by the time you listen to this, it could have changed. So you really should be looking at visitjamaica.com anyway, and not Casual Swinger in this case, as much as I hate to send you elsewhere. Definitely go check it out. The travel authorization is the second thing that we had to do.
Yeah, and part of that was very much like the customs form that we filled out, like when you're on the plane, or they went digital last year, the year before.
Yeah.
So it was some of that, but also it went into much more detail, like exactly who am I traveling with, confirming and agreeing that we're traveling together, how many bags, you know.
It was a lot.
It was a ton.
Right. When's the last time you masturbated?
Yeah, what's my, you know,
no, seriously, when's the
maiden
last time you
name and the last four of my social, my mother's maiden name. Yeah, it was intense, and I had to have 2 points of emergency contact. I thought
really?
That was fun. Yeah, I thought that
I only had to do one for Southwest, but we got all that taken care of. And you know, it's funny because it kind of does feel like the first time. It's been so crazy. You know, 2020. I mean, everybody talks about it, so you know how much bullshit it's been. But for me, this is a different. I mean, we've got so many new people coming on this trip with the Rascals. If you don't know what we're talking about Rachals Rascals, which is the travel group that we host for. And this is a new trip for a lot of these people. And it's also their first real exposure to humans since COVID. So we've done something different, and this was your idea, and I loved it.
Yeah. Oh, the bracelets.
Yes. So we have social distancing bracelets to help people if they're not comfortable having people in their bubble being touched, or if they're totally comfortable and say, fuck it, lick my face. We have bracelets for each of those folks. It's green, yellow, red.
Yeah. So, I mean, obvious colors, thinking of a stoplight, like red, don't, please respect my bubble. Yellow, possibly, but, ask me first. And then green.
Lick my face.
Does not mean lick my face. It says you're comfortable having people in your bubble. You still have to have consent.
Can I lick their face if I get consent?
You're annoying. Let's get past this.
Anyway, I do think it's a really cool idea, and I love that you came up with it. And this is going to be a really powerful vacation for us, because I think it's our effort to get back to normal as safely as possible. And so much so that, what do we have? 9 bags for a new vacation.
What happened this trip?
I have no idea.
Typically, it's our 2 checked luggage and our carry-on, because in Southwest world, that is free, and I love free.
Yeah, free's my favorite.
But we have 5 enormous bags, 2 carry-ons, and 2 hand luggages, and I'm just like, aren't we going to be naked like 90% of the time?
I want to know which one of the kids you packed in one of those bags.
I may have smuggled a Canadian in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a minute. We got a lot of Canadians that are not coming on this trip because they can't, because of what's going on up north right now. And basically there are restrictions, and a lot of Canada say that they have to quarantine for a couple of weeks after they get back from vacation. And that's just not feasible with, work schedules and things like that.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, with what you and I do, even if it was a mandate here because we work from home, the impact for people like us is not drastic. I have to be home anyways.
Yeah, we're home anyway. We never see anybody.
But for someone, I saw my neighbors for the first time in like 3 months yesterday.
Yeah, it's because our dogs beat their dog's ass.
Oh my gosh, it was so bad.
It was not awesome. I got to watch Mallory wrestle 3 Rottweilers and a Dalmatian yesterday. That was really awesome.
I thought all those years of watching UFC with you that my ground game would be a lot better than it was.
Well, no.
Apparently, I do not know how to grapple.
Zelda's just better at it than you are.
I rode her halfway down the driveway. I literally had dirt and dog shit from my elbow to my ankle.
Why do we have to talk about shit in every episode?
Because it's the truth, though.
You did get chucked in a pile of dog shit.
Oh my God. I smell like my adrenaline was still pumping. And the first thing that I realized once it all stopped and everyone was okay. I mean, everyone was okay.
Everyone's fine. So is the Dalmatian. He's
so
good.
The dogs are fine. Everyone's fine. The neighbors thought it was funny. I had a heart attack. But the first thing that hit me was the smell of the shit.
You smelled ferocious when you walked past me.
I threw those clothes away. I was in a work shirt too, so now I have to order another one.
Oh my God! So yeah, we've had a bunch of stuff going on, getting ready for this trip, and it's a little crazy, but we're really excited, and we hope that you enjoy this. Hopefully, you noticed we had a little Jamaican, tropical vibe to the music.
Yeah,
for this
it was
episode.
a little Jamaican,
and that's just to kind of. We got to get back in the mood, right? We can travel safely. Jamaica's proved it over and over and over again. Is it 100% safe? No, but it really never was.
No, that's true. And, it's just, everyone's going to have a different level of comfort to that, and it's okay.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down there for 10 days. We're going to take, I think we have, 80 or 90 couples, which is a lot less than we usually have in November. But that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be there with not only Rachals Rascals, but our friends from Dirty Perv Week. That's Jason and Heather and the Dirty Pervs.
Oh, yeah. And they have a bunch of people in their crew that we just freaking adore. So just being able to hear their voices and see their faces makes my soul smile.
I get to see Tina.
Yes, you do.
I'm very happy about that. I'm not going to lie to you.
Aw, they're amazing. They're so amazing.
I have a crush on that little
Yes,
munchkin.
you do. You sure do.
So that's just, if she ever listens to this, she's going to know I have a crush on her now.
I'm going to make them now. I'm going to mention it.
Hey, guys, we haven't talked about it yet this episode. See, I said yes this episode. Clearly, we're tongue-tied. We're so excited about leaving for Hedo that we can't even get our shit straight to say what we got to say. But if you guys haven't been on Casual Toys since November 1st, we added something new for CasualToys.com.
Oh, this is cool. I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. You
Sorry.
do. You get all excited about it. So we added something and we added it to Mallory approved, ironically enough. So we're going to talk about this in a second, but it's a new product line. And we did something we haven't done before. We actually invested in this product line and bought in a bunch of it. So I've got boxes and boxes of condoms all over the place.
Not weird at all.
It's a little strange.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? We're talking about unique condoms, and it's on the main page at casualtoys.com. Make sure to check it out. Why did I buy these things? So here's kind of the story of what happened and the story of what they are. So what happened with these things is I was looking for a thin condom because I'm not a very sensitive guy. So I needed a condom that for playing in the lifestyle that I could feel something. I've been looking for, it's like the holy grail, right?
Yeah, I mean, condoms can be challenging for a lot of guys. And I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I know what it feels like. Can I tell a difference? Yeah, but it's not enough for me to change my experience.
No.
For a lot of guys, like just putting it on, it's a wood killer.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of guys
I don't
lifestyle
envy you
use
guys.
Skin.
That's true. Skin's a great brand, and we've used Skin for years.
We have, and these are so much better than Skin. I was blown away.
Okay, honestly, the first time I opened it, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Because it looks so strange.
They're unique. They're definitely they're named aptly.
They did a great job naming it, and its design is wonderful. And what I was nervous about, and I didn't know at the time, is I'm not latex sensitive, but I'm just sensitive in general. So anytime I see or experience something new, I always have it in the back of my head that I could not feel so great the next day or that night.
Yeah.
And these were amazing. And they're what, resin base?
They are polyethylene resin, which is, they call it a C10 resin. They are 3 times thinner than latex and 3 times stronger than latex.
So I agree with it actually feeling different, because it was almost like shrink wrap. Like once you put it on, it has, what did you call it, a skirt? It's flanged at the bottom?
It is flanged at the bottom, so it doesn't roll on like a traditional condom. It actually has a skirt at the base where you pull it on, and you pull it on from that skirt. But the nice part about the skirt is the additional safety that it gets you from skin-to-skin contact.
Yeah, it creates an additional barrier right there at the base of your penis and that pubic area.
Yeah, and that's where condoms fail you. In terms of safety in the lifestyle, when we talk about skin-to-skin contact, your balls are going to be smashing into her taint, basically, if I can be really crude. And if if she's excited, she's probably wet there. So there's skin-to-skin contact that occurs whether you're wearing a condom or not.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't cover an enormous area, surface area down there, but it covers enough that it would absolutely matter.
Yeah, it's not a shopping bag, but
but it's like a shrink wrap, and because when you put it on, I was like, I'm not so sure, because it had this crinkle to it. And then all of a sudden it was just completely conformed. It was like magic.
It was neat.
I wanted you to take it off and do it again.
It was like heat shrink. It was like Shrinky Dinks.
Yes.
Well, it was so neat for me because when I put it on to test it with you, I felt your heat. I felt your body heat immediately.
That's right. Because I mean, again, I'm not a dude, but I hear that like the transfer of heat isn't as predominant with traditional latex condoms.
Not at all. Not at all. You can't feel heat until you really warm it up, right?
Warm it up when like smoke's coming out of her
pretty much.
vagina.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
When she's got smoke pouring out of her hole, then you know that you've done a good job. But for me, I think that these condoms are so unique because they work with any lubricant. So you can use them with coconut oil, any oil-based lube. You can use it with silicone. You can use it with water-based lubes. So that's unique. They transfer heat almost immediately. That's unique. They're thinner than latex. That's unique. They're stronger than latex. That's unique. They have the skirt for additional protection. That's unique. And they're 3 to a package that fits in your wallet and doesn't leave a circle in your wallet that shows you that you're still in high school.
It looks like a pack of gum.
It does.
I was playing with it on the desk, and I was like, this literally looks like a half pack of gum. Like it's genius.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we absolutely love these things. They are our new condom of choice. So we bought in a whole bunch of them into casualtoys.com. We recommend you check them out. They are pretty amazing. It's a premium product, but guys, they're worth it.
Yeah, definitely at least give it a try, especially if you have a latex sensitivity. Again, latex free, vegan friendly.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hypoallergenic as well.
Yes.
So no GMOs, it wasn't tested on rabbits. I don't know how you test a condom on a rabbit unless the rabbit's having a really bad day, but
Oh my gosh.
What?
You're killing me,
Furry little
Smalls.
fleshlight.
I'm so tired from all the packing and working this week, and
You just don't think I'm funny this
I
week.
just don't think you're funny right now.
Good thing for me, I'm over here and you're over there.
Hey,
Fight me.
I heard a joke today.
Oh, shit. Let's hear it.
What kind of tea do babies like?
Oh, no. What?
Tit teas.
You have problems.
I found that meme somewhere, and I sent it to like 12 people today.
Oh, God. Well, guys, one last thing. Womanizers. If you guys don't have your womanizer, we're selling a ton of them right now, so it's clearly the Christmas season. If you haven't gotten a present for that beautiful girl in your life, the toy that Mallory recommends the most is the Womanizer Premium.
It's the best.
So make sure to check that out on casualtoys.com. The Womanizer Premium actually is on sale between now and the end of the month.
Yeah, Christmas is coming, folks. So it's Hanukkah.
Check that out. You want to tell everybody where they can find us so we can get into it, Derek and Jess?
Yeah, absolutely. It's my time.
It is. It's all you. I'll shut up now.
All right. We are Casual Swinger everywhere. If you'd like to send us a message, that's podcast@casualswinger.com. Of course, you could always visit our website, casualswinger.com. Duh. We're on social media. That is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you'd like to check us out on the dating sites, please look for us on Double Date Nation, SDC, SLS, Cassidy, and Quiver.
Okay, folks, that'll do it. Let's get into Feels Like the First Time with Derek and Jess and their first trip to Hedonism II in Negril, Jamaica. You've been listening to Casual Swinger.
Welcome back to Casual Swinger, everybody. I'm Mallory.
And Mickey.
And we have friends with us today, guys.
We have friends?
We have friends.
Where do we get friends from?
We collected them from Jamaica.
Oh,
yes.
I like these friends. Can we keep them?
I think so.
Can I have it?
I think they're going to let us.
Oh, goodness gracious. Jess and Derek, how are you guys today?
We are good.
Great.
Really good.
That sigh
Great,
was
Dave.
depressing. Like, what was that all about?
So much better after that intro, you guys. Oh my gosh, that was sweet.
You guys are true professionals for sure.
Oh, we try. It is hard to come back to reality because we're 11 days post Jamaica?
Yeah, I finally kicked the crud.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited that I can breathe and I'm not coughing every third breath. I think I caught some like derivative of the coronavirus. while I
Don't
was down
say that.
I can't even.
Yeah,
Have the
that's
CDC
a
on our
bad
door.
word.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't do that.
We'll just be tackled. So we have with us today, as we told you in the intro, Jess and Derek from the great state of Iowa. They are actually listeners of Casual Swinger, and we met them on the beach in Jamaica at Hedonism II very recently. Really exciting. So we're really happy to have you guys here with us on the show. So welcome and thank you for listening is the first thing I think I have to say, right, Mel?
Yes. Yes. That's very polite and professional.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for
We're
having
going
me.
to just give us 5 more minutes. We'll get dirty.
Right, exactly. Thank you for tolerating our shit show. Although it's not supposed to be a actual shit show, but right.
You can't help it. Every episode you have to say something about poop.
Talk about poop.
Yes. You guys were there all week. I mean, it came up at dinner how many nights?
And it wasn't my fault. I was framed.
Every night
Just
we
about
were
everyone.
at dinner with you guys.
Yeah. See?
God, see? All right, mate. All right, it is me. It's me.
The casual shitter.
You knew I was going to do it. She's looking at me like she wants me to die right now.
We're fighting.
All right. So, guys, as listeners, you probably have a great idea of what to expect from us. And we really appreciate you taking the time to come out here. What we're going to talk about today is just your experience as Hedo virgins. And I realize, Jess, that virginity is a ways back for you, but we're just going to, pretend, right? But
That sounds great.
as first timers to Hedo, we think you guys have a really valuable experience. So we're really excited that you're open to sharing that with our listeners because you know what? There's a lot of people out there that are trying to figure out where to spend their lifestyle time, whether it's at Desire or Temptation or Hedo or even something like Podcastapalooza, which is coming up in
Right.
May.
Exactly. And I think your perspective, I mean, you guys are, I'd say on the younger part of the spectrum, you're the 30 and under, right, crowd. Youngins. But you also have experience. You both are professionals. You're well-spoken. And from what I was watching on the outskirts, while you guys were in the pool or meeting people at the bar, you really seem to encapture and embrace the Hedo mentality, and so quickly and so organically.
I was surprised how good they were.
I know. So one of my first questions, once we, warmed up a little bit, so I didn't scare the shit out of you, was, have you been in a lifestyle a while? Because it just seems so second nature to you.
We've been together for almost 10 years and married for almost 6, and in the lifestyle for just over 2 years. But this was definitely the first time in this kind of party environment. So
when you guys talked about going down there, I mean, you guys live nowhere near the coast. So obviously getting the hell away from the tundra, and you guys are in Iowa, correct?
Yeah, we're in Iowa, and that is definitely one of the draws to going down to Hedo, but definitely not obviously the only thing. But definitely going in February is definitely helping that aspect of getting out of this terrible cold.
Yeah, it was like negative 5 degrees, I think, a couple weeks before we left. So it was a very welcomed break from the cold.
Holy shit, that's freezing. So, obviously Iowa's probably not a hotbed of lifestyle activity. So tell me a little bit about how you guys kind of ventured into the lifestyle, and what was the turning point for you when you decided to take the plunge? Because a lot of people don't necessarily do that at a younger age. I mean, I think you guys have seen it, certainly having been in the lifestyle 2 years, that usually it's couples, maybe the empty nesters or people that are, I don't want to call them more mature because you guys got the maturity thing down tight. But tell me, how did you guys do that? How did you make that turn to the lifestyle?
Well, it was kind of a progression as we were kind of reflecting back on, exactly how we got into this. When I was in college, before Derek and I met, I had an experience, kind of like a typical you're in college and have an experience with a girl one night, but I was so into it. It was so hot. So that was kind of the very kind of beginning of it. And then Derek and I started dating and moved away after college, met some really great friends, and had never talked about swapping or the lifestyle or anything like that before, but we're somehow on the same wavelength one evening with our friends after a few cocktails. And next thing you know, we ended up separate room swapping with them. And looking back, not an ideal situation for us to start by any means. It could have gone terribly wrong. But it actually worked out really well for us. And then a couple threesomes followed. And so then we're kind of like, maybe this is a thing. And so Derek did some research. Turns out it is a thing. So,
a big thing, as it turns out.
Yeah, a very big thing. Lots of options. We didn't even know where to start. But he created a profile on SDC it was probably 3 years ago, and didn't really find anyone we connected with until a little over 2 years ago. And
yeah, and I didn't even tell you about that either, Jess. That was the one thing you kind of stumbled upon it. So
what?
Yeah,
you didn't tell me?
Add that.
I'm just kidding. I knew that.
I'm like, oh shit! Uh-oh. You guys heard it first on Casual Swinger. These two are about to throw the fuck down.
Cherry. No.
So let's back that train up for a second, Jess. So you guys' first lifestyle experience was a separate room swap.
Correct.
Yeah, I think his pause for effect is warranted there.
Right. I'm just kind of sitting here with my mouth open, and that's the second time in 3 weeks that I've been sitting here with my mouth open during an interview with somebody on Casual Swinger. That is highly unusual. Yeah. And the best part is it was awesome, right? You guys had a great time.
Yeah, it was a great time. And definitely at the start, we had no idea about the lifestyle or anything. So we even talked a lot about it then. So the communication came up a lot, even during that time. But it was a crazy experience. And then we kind of took a little bit of a break after that from it, because we had no idea what we just did, actually. It was just kind of like mind blown kind of thing. It definitely turned us on to the fact that we're both sexual people.
So what I find fascinating about this is couples go into the lifestyle, and a lot of times they do a lot of research, a lot of curating, a lot of talking before they have their first experience. And you guys fell into it. All the stars aligned. It happened. And then after the fact, were you like, what the fuck? Just like, was that real? Are we okay?
Oh, yeah.
Were you confused and like out of sorts after?
Definitely confused. I was definitely confused about the entire thing. I didn't know how she felt, me being with another girl. I was on the edge, and that's another part of our lifestyle experience is I'm not totally into the whole watching her get pleasure from another guy. I obviously don't mind it, but it's not something that I get turned on by. So I was navigating through that all at the same time. And like you said, we just had no idea what we were getting ourselves into until we really, 2-3 years later, we started researching it and figured out it was a thing. And then we kind of hit the ground running after that. But it was definitely a crazy experience, but it was good to kind of get started with it. I wouldn't change it for anything, but.
That's interesting you said that. I think we overthink things sometimes, which we'll probably talk about later, I would imagine.
Yes.
Well, what I was going to say is you guys have a lot of onion to peel back here, because when we talk about really becoming comfortable with feeling attraction toward other people, that is a step in and of itself to say, it's okay to be attracted to somebody that's not my wife or my husband in the case of Mallory and myself. But then you also have the fact that you guys maybe have identified that you're not necessarily turned on personally by seeing her have pleasure with someone else, but you're happy she had it. So you're cool with it. But so it's really neat that you guys have really figured all that out already. I'm blown away.
I am too. Again, when I knew you guys were very special, because when I was watching you, it sounds so creepy when I say that, but when I was watching you guys engage with other people and again embrace kind of the spirit of Hedo, like you just seem so natural at it, and it sparked a curiosity in me, and I had to find out more.
I'm a little creeped out right now.
I'm sorry. I'm watching.
I'm
you.
flattered.
I am too. I'm blushing over here. So
I love it when you blush. Oh,
it's so fucked up though, because her watching, it's hot.
Red.
Right. She watches and it's hot. I sound like I'm masturbating in the grotto watching people. So it just never comes out with her the same way.
Yeah. So you guys have like established like your lifestyle back at home. You guys are meeting people. Do you guys have clubs down there in Iowa? Did you do any events or anything like that? House parties?
We've just kind of recently started to venture into like the house party aspect. There's definitely not any around our area, but when we go, we actually travel to the outskirts of Chicago, and there's a event called the Young Couples Party, and it's a great event. But that kind of almost warmed us up for Hedo with so many people all around us at once. Before we were just doing the whole online dating, go have one date at a time, see if you like the person or the couple, and then, go from there. Definitely the club aspect is something we just recently, over the last 3-4 months, just gotten into, and we kind of really enjoyed it. But we had actually already booked Hedo 6 to 8 months before, so we definitely just took the jump in thinking, well, we might as well do it. But yeah, so as far as the club events, that's and our whole lifestyle, at the very beginning, it was just meeting other couples, and that was all we really ever did. But we've really liked this new event over in the outskirts of Chicago.
Then I was right that basically Iowa is a desolate wasteland that's nothing but corn from corner to corner, and you guys had to leave and go to Chicago to find a lifestyle party.
Also, it has a lot of rascals now. So
we do have a bunch of rascals there, and
Yes.
2 of the hottest rascals I can think of, by the way, are in Iowa.
yes, yep, amen.
Hey, we like Iowa. Iowa's good stuff.
Hey, you know what? I'm a fan of Iowa now. I wasn't a fan before, but I'm good.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So, and we said this in the intro, guys, and we'll say it again. So Jess and Derek, not only are they really nice people, but they're beautiful as shit too. So there's
like
also
stunning. Like you can see them from afar, and your mouth is just agape.
Which kind of brings me to my next question, right? Because I think it doesn't matter. You know, we talk about body image a lot in the lifestyle. We talk about people maybe who, and, you know, we've had issues with folks on the beach, maybe who had a scar that they didn't feel comfortable with. There was a lady that had an extra toe. She wasn't really excited about that. I couldn't do anything about it except tell her to put socks on. But, you know, there's all these different things that play into the first time we get naked in front of strangers. So did you guys have any reservations about getting naked in front of strangers? And how long did it take you when you got to Hedo? And more importantly, who did it first? Don't lie.
Well, luckily, we had an opportunity to kind of dip our toes in a little bit before we came to Hedo. We'd been to a nude beach in Miami a couple years ago with some lifestyle friends. And then we went to Hawaii recently and was just going to visit the nude beach there once and ended up being there or staying there, you know, 4 different days in a row. So we had at least done it before, but not to the extent that you are naked at Hedo. So, of course, that first evening when we got there, walk up to the, you know, nude beach sign and there was a little bit of hesitation, you know, because we don't know anybody here and we don't know what to expect in general. So there was that hesitation, but I would say 10 seconds and clothes were off. So, but I
nice
mean,
work.
No matter what yeah. But I will say the first time ever was in Miami, and I was very surprised by this, but Derek was the first one to drop trout on the beach. And it was like the second we found our spot. So that was actually very interesting to me, but it was also comforting because it made me kind of just go for it right after he did it.
So he just released the Kraken right there in front of all the elderly, right? Not a part. Boom, right there, huh?
I did, and maybe that helped me. The fact that, you know, there are all shapes and sizes, and you don't have to be beautiful to take your clothes off and feel natural. And I was the one that actually had more insecurities when we first talked about being naked, I think, than Kristen did. You know, maybe just from a man's perspective of how big is my penis? What do my balls look like? All of that aspect of it.
Totally get it.
I had no idea what to expect, you know. But then once I got there, I was just like, these people are so free on the beach, and this sounds awesome. So I was just ready to go for it. And then a little bit of, you know, you're the only one with clothes on. You might as well just go for it and drop it and just go for it. So that's what I did.
Yeah, because when you're the only one with clothes on, you definitely stick out like a sore thumb. So you kind of did like the whole, like when Harry met Sally and they're like, I'll have what they're having. This looks like a good idea, so we're going to go for it.
Exactly what I did.
Well,
perfect.
So, you know, and the reason I really wanted to kind of dig into that a little bit is because, you know, while we were at Hedo, I watched Derek do chin-ups 20 feet off the ground next to the stripper pole.
Oh,
all right,
you're stealing my thunder.
This is the guy, right, that's doing that shit. And yet he's still concerned about taking his clothes off on the beach. So that's something that I really think people should get from this conversation, is that everybody worries about whatever that flaw is that no one sees but you. Mm-hmm. Right? We all have it. I don't give a shit how tall, short, fat, small, skinny, hot, whatever. Everybody has that concern that someone's going to judge them, even somebody like Jess and Derek.
And I have a public service announcement.
Ooh,
if you're going to get a Brazilian wax before you go to Hedo, make sure you do it from a trusted esthetician or someone that you've been to before that you trust and you know it will go well, because mine did not go well. So it was a little bit rough those first couple days being naked.
Oh, that sucks.
Was it as bad as mine?
Oh, whatever. You got your asshole waxed. It really wasn't that.
You guys poured hot
traumatic.
wax in my asshole and ripped it out along with my soul.
Oh, man. The butthole's actually easier than the rest of it, honestly, as far as pain.
It's actually so easy.
Yeah.
All right, Derek, you're next.
Oh, gosh, I can't imagine.
he's sorry, bro, I'm out.
He's like, there's the bro code right there out the window.
So, okay. So I love this conversation because we're learning things about you guys that maybe we didn't get to when we were, you know, face to face. So you had a little bit of experience being naked and being around lifestyle people in a larger environment. Did you guys have like any reservations before you went on your trip? Did you have conversations around those?
Yeah, I mean, we talked to death about just all aspects of Hedo, being naked, the lifestyle part of Hedo, what to expect. And we really just tried to, I mean, we're down to earth people, so we just tried to almost temper them because we were just so excited thinking about it. And you just build it up in your head a little bit, I feel like, as a lifestyle couple going there, thinking you're just going to, be meeting all these people and swapping with them, and it'll be the greatest time of your life. And it's obviously great. But as far as the expectations, we just tried to lower them a little bit. And we just talked about, different ways that if things went wrong as far as Jess kissing somebody at a different point and, either of us get upset, it was just all about the communication. Like, what did we do wrong there and how can we fix it? And then, and we just, so we definitely talked all the time about our expectations. But it was hard to just like I said, to suppress the excitement of going to Hedo, really.
Yeah. And I think we didn't know what to expect. We'd never been there before. And there's kind of, in Hedo and in the lifestyle in general, that there's kind of a draw to that, not knowing what to expect, the excitement of meeting somebody for the first time. It all kind of, we've kind of realized there's just an excitement with that. There's nerves, there's fear, but that kind of creates an excitement. So definitely some fear and reservations, but overall I would say our feel was being excited.
A lot of times when people go to Hedo the first time, they almost always have this conversation together about, what do you want out of this trip? Hey, honey, like, if you could get one thing out of this trip, what would it be? Did you guys have a conversation like that at all about what your individual desires were and what you'd like to get out of this trip in a perfect world? And if you did, what was it?
That's a really good question. Unless Derek has a different opinion, I don't think we specifically talked about what we hoped to get out of it. We just came in with low expectations because we had no idea what to expect. And honestly just knew no matter what, we would have a great time because we're at an all-inclusive resort in Jamaica on the beach with like-minded people in a sexually charged atmosphere. So we really didn't have that kind of conversation, which looking back, that would have been an interesting one to have and kind of see how that actually, ended up playing out.
Interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I would say, to add on to that too, we just basically talked about, well, if worst comes to worst, like we said, we're on a beach in Jamaica, sexually charged atmosphere, and then Jess and I will just have a ton of great sex is all I guess I expected out of it. I knew I was going to have sex one way or the other. So.
That's fucking perfect.
Man, I will say the mirrors on the ceilings are freaking awesome.
Dude, right?
Amazing.
Dude, so we have positioned our bed at some point once, I can afford to do like the aesthetic things around the house again, because we're working on some structural stuff and like maintenance stuff that's boring. But we're going to put mirrors over because we have a canopy bed and I can't fucking wait because it is one of my favorite parts about those rooms.
Yeah, but you won't let me take the fan down because you need to have this
don't need the fan.
Of wind.
It's perfect. It's at the end of the bed and then the mirror will be over the bed. We just can never, ever, ever, ever move that bed. We can't move it anyways. It weighs like 1,000,000 pounds.
Hey, so, I upgraded that bitch. It doesn't squeak.
That is fucking true. Drive it home, daddy. Drive it home.
A rhino could fuck on that bed and it wouldn't squeak. Well, the rhino might squeak, but the bed wouldn't.
Fair.
Wow, that's awesome.
So getting back into our conversation, so it sounds like usually, and I had this, and there's a lot of people that do have an inherent fear and that anticipation before going, but it sounds like you guys had a lot of communication. Was there anything you were scared of before you went? And no is an acceptable answer.
I would say, kind of going back to what Derek said about, not knowing what kind of situations we might get into, being in the pool, people drinking, having a good time. And, we kind of played out some scenarios and how would we react to this? So I guess that was a little bit of a fear, like you do something so bad that the other person can't forgive you. But at the same time, we know each other's boundaries. We've talked about them to death. And, we went in saying, if one of us is upset by something they see or something they hear that the other did, we need to talk about it. We need to figure out how it's not going to happen again and move forward and have fun, because you can't plan for situations, I don't think, somewhere that you've never been.
Amen. Especially in a place like that. It's like this kinky little vacuum sometimes, and things happen really fast. But it sounds like you guys have an exceptional level of communication with each other, which is a beautiful thing.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
We have long bouts of communication between us. I mean, we've been together a long time, and
he calls it beating the horse to death.
I call it
beating the dead
horse till it's just done. It's just pulp, and then we talk about it some more in this house. And
hello, my name is Mallory, and I'm an over communicator.
Nice to meet you, Mallory. But I absolutely love that you guys are doing that, because, when we talk about communication in the lifestyle, and we talk about it all the time as being one of the most important things you can do, to communicate with each other and say there are no deal breakers, right? But at the same time, things are going to happen. This is a live fire exercise. And so
this is not a drill.
There's an old saying that says that no plan survives the field of battle, right? You have to be willing to kind of,
adapt.
Adapt and overcome whatever these things that are facing you. I love that you guys are talking through it, and that you're not saying, well, you broke the rules and this is that. And that takes me back to something we talk about, which is the word trust. Right? Fear is a big conversation that people have, but trust is another one. And I think trust is so misused, because everybody says, I trust you. And when we say that, it means I trust you not to have sex with somebody else. I trust you not to fall in love with somebody else. You never say, I trust you to what? Right? We never say that to each other, because we just have this assumption that I trust that person to make me happy. Well, no, I trust you to put me first when these types of relationships and situations.
I trust you to make good choices.
I trust you to make good choices, to take my feelings into account. I trust you to look out for me.
I trust you to grab me a drink when you get one for yourself.
I'm still learning that one, guys. I'm not going to lie.
It's okay. I'm patient.
So when we talk about trust, what do you guys trust each other to do?
So I think as far as trust goes, Jess and I definitely have all that trust, but I always trust that she'll put me first, and she'll always have my feelings. I think we're both people that really think about the other person, even when it comes to these relationships and the lifestyle of what is he or she going to be comfortable with. I never want to make her uncomfortable. She never wants to make me uncomfortable. So I really trust her to be in that situation, really think about my feelings, because she knows that I'm thinking about her feelings at all times too. So that's where I really just feel comfortable in lifestyle about that I always know that she has my back, and that, that we're a team in this, and that we're both doing this to, fulfill different aspects of our lives as far as sexually and different things like that.
Jess, how about you?
In regards to the lifestyle and trust, I could never picture doing the lifestyle with anybody else. And I mean, just doing life in general with anybody else. Derek is like the most amazing human I've ever met. Not to get all mushy, but I just, you said, I'm crying.
We've seen you naked. It's fine.
Yes.
We just, we're each other's number one person. And because I feel like our communication is just so good, we would feel comfortable if there was ever any sort of hesitation or fear or anything that would lead us down a path of distrust. So I feel like we're just really, I don't had a good answer, but he just nailed it. So
I think I'm on the same path as you. Everything else in life becomes so much easier when you have a partner like that in your corner. It takes
absolutely.
It takes a lot of the worry away that, out in the wild or in the vanilla world even, that I almost feel sad that they haven't discovered that or haven't embraced that because of baggage or hangups or social norms or whatever it may be. So I get what you're saying, because at the end of the day, like, we have a rule. Doesn't matter how fucked up shit gets, how hard it gets. This is it. It's always going to be you and I at the end of the day. We're going to figure it out. And that's
absolutely.
at the end of the day, it'll always be
Yep.
you and I. So for me, that makes
Agreed.
everything else so much easier because I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, there are no deal breakers.
But exactly, no deal breakers,
Well
but
said.
it also makes me protect us a little bit more. Does that make sense? Okay.
Oh, yeah, certainly to me.
Yeah.
All right, so we've
Yeah.
covered a lot of stuff here today, and I kind of want to get back to the resort a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, and because I really love that we're having this conversation because I feel like you guys, and I don't want to make you the poster people for Hedo, but I think you really embody what's great about Hedo. We talk about Hedo and we say that it will take anything that's wonderful about your relationship and it will multiply it times 9. But it will take anything that's bad and multiply it by 90. And so what surprised you about Hedo?
Yeah, talking about multiplying it by 90, you're exactly right. I mean, we might on the surface seem like we have everything figured out, but no one really ever has everything figured out in this type of lifestyle. So just a couple things. Back up to previous lifestyle experience we've had. We've sort of been on the pushy side of each other, you know, and I really learned on this Hedo trip not to ever push Jess, because I almost felt pushed in certain periods of Hedo, and I really didn't like that. That kind of got under my skin a little bit. But it was only because outside of Hedo, and you know, when you're at Hedo, you're navigating so many different things. You're navigating being naked. You're navigating, do I want to possibly pursue a swap with this other couple? Do I want to spend more time here or there? So it's kind of just overwhelming in that aspect of it. But I would say just from some experiences at Hedo, I definitely learned within myself that I don't like to get pushed, so I don't ever want to push Jess any more than I ever will. So that's something I definitely learned. But I think it took Hedo to really explain that to me personally, because like I said before, in other aspects of the lifestyle, we did push each other, and some of those experiences had really turned out really well. But to really play off that, I learned at Hedo that pushing doesn't go well, especially at Hedo, because there's just so many things that you're navigating. But they did turn out really well in other parts of the lifestyle, like this one experience we had in Mexico where I really wanted to have a threesome with this girl, and Jess really wasn't into it at all, and I just kind of kept pushing her, and then we ended up having a threesome, and it was an amazing experience. But so I feel like that really changed our mindset on pushing each other just a little bit too far and making each other uncomfortable. So.
And I kind of want to add on to that a little bit, because yeah, you were pushing me past what I appreciated in that instance in Mexico. And I think one of the reasons I didn't want to do it is because you were doing that. I wanted it to happen more organically. It's not that I wasn't into the idea. I wasn't into you know, telling me to, hey, you should go talk to her, or, you know, stuff like that. I was more into it organically kind of happening.
I think Jess is in my head. That's actually a very similar dynamic to us. And sometimes I need Mickey to kind of push me to take advantage of the opportunity or to open my eyes to it and let me feel confident in the decision. But there's a fine line between support and pushing at times. Because if I feel like I'm being cornered on a subject, the first thing I'm going to do, because I'm a rebel at heart, is the exact opposite. It changes my level of comfort, because organically, that's where I benefit the most out of an experience as a whole, when it just kind of happens and comes together. And sometimes you do have to take those extra steps to make it happen organically. Does that make sense? Am I just talking out of my ass over here?
Your ass.
Okay, my ass.
Now, I think that you're full of shit, because your level of comfort is the fact that you come 40 times for everybody else's one orgasm. That is just
nice.
Your superpower.
It's not 40, and maybe 4.
Winning.
Yeah, right. Winning at
Winning.
life.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a catch-22 at times, because You'll have nights where there's one more in the chamber and you just know it and you're like, but my vagina's sore.
There's always one more in the chamber.
Hurts. I got to stop.
It's very taxing. It's very difficult.
I know. I
think people should have sympathy for me out there, dear
I know.
listener.
Start a GoFundMe or something.
GoFundMe to buy you more vibrators. They're only good for 100,000 miles.
Or ice packs. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you guys are too good.
Oh, we're just silly. We're having a great time with you guys, by the way. So is there anything else that stood out to you about this trip or the resort? Like another takeaway? We talked about what surprised you.
I guess in terms of surprised us about the resort, we knew it was going to be nice, but it was beautiful. Like just in general, the resort, the grounds were beautiful. The beach was beautiful. The restaurants were great. The staff was great. Not that we were expecting, subpar in anything, but we were pleasantly surprised with how nice, everything was.
Yeah, some of the TripAdvisor reviews described the place as a glorified trailer park, and
which I'm sure it was back in the day.
I was there back in the day. No, it wasn't. It was okay back then too. Okay, it's damn sure better than it used to be, and there's no question about that.
Definitely not a glorified trailer park. Definitely not.
Not at all. It's beautiful.
And the other thing, we never felt uncomfortable with anyone we were talking to. So not that we thought that would happen, but you never know what you're getting into or what kind of people are going to be there. But everyone was so nice, from the staff to all the guests at the resort to all the Rascals. Oh my gosh, we can't say enough about the Rascals. They're also great.
Oh, they are.
People in general. So good. So good.
Is there anything at all you guys would have done differently as first timers? Remember, you guys are really representing virgins here. Virgins everywhere. Do what Jess and Derek do. Now, is there something you would have done differently, maybe in your preparation or how you communicated leading up to it, what you did at the resort, something you wish you had done that you didn't do? Anything at all?
Definitely. Like Derek said, we're both people pleasers. It was sometimes hard to navigate just because we were overthinking. With some people we were interested in talking to, but weren't interested in sleeping with. So how do you navigate that kind of relationship? Because, we weren't just there to sleep with people. Like, we were there to meet people and talk to people and just have great, genuine conversation. So I think we were in our head a lot in that aspect. I think we probably might have missed a play opportunity or two because of it. So probably just getting out of our heads a little bit is something we would do a little bit differently, and maybe just being a little bit more upfront too. Like you were just saying, Mallory, we kind of like things to happen organically, but sometimes you just got to toss it out there.
We definitely didn't take that extra step like we could, and I might be to blame for that one, Jess. I am definitely, again, the people pleaser, and for me to get away from a conversation, we had one conversation at a pool that Jess was yanking me on the arm to basically try to get me to leave the conversation, and I didn't. So I have a lot to blame for as far as trying to navigate those conversations. But it is hard because everyone is so nice, like Jess said. They're just amazing people, so many like-minded people that like to travel, that like everything pretty much, that you just have so much in common with each other, and it's just so easy to just continue conversations. There's never a downtime at Hedo. I think that's what I really liked about it too, was just there's always something to do and there's always somebody to talk to, and being people, we just really like to talk to each other and other people. So
I love that. And I'll take the blame for that. I was just trying to capture you guys and you caught me. So I'm sorry. Jess had to drag you away. So, but you're right though.
No. We would talk to you guys all day long.
All day. And we didn't get to talk to you enough. So.
Well, now you're stuck with us because, like I said, we're friends and that is not changing.
And they're coming back in November.
Oh, see, that was creepy.
Yes.
Yeah. You stole their thunder. But yes, we're so glad to hear you guys are coming back.
You did steal our thunder.
You did steal their thunder, but that's okay. We're just excited.
Whose thunder am I stealing? I was sick in bed while everybody was having fun.
I know. It's so sad. But you're right. Like I was trying to say before you interrupted and stole their thunder, was it's hard because you're meeting so many people from so many different backgrounds. And like me, I need more input. Tell me all of the things about you. Because how did you get here? Who are you? What do you like? That fulfills like this part of me that likes connecting with other people, because it's not just about the sex. It's about the experience as a whole. So I totally get that. And as first timers, you were probably a little overwhelmed with the amount of activity and people at times.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And I agree with the fact that, you know, part of our aspect of the lifestyle is more than just being attractive physically. We're very big mental people. That's kind of, kind of my fetish, as I told you guys at the resort. But it's just finding people that are smart, intelligent, have a good conversation. You don't even have to be smart. Just having a great conversation really attracts me to people. So maybe that's why we just love to talk to people. So.
Good point.
Yeah, very good point.
I think Mallory's going to need you to wear those Excel glasses to bed, Derek. Just saying.
Deal. I'm in.
We'll send you guys a picture.
I'm trying to write a dirty story that's like a little smarticles here. So if you get a surprise email from me, it's not going well. I've started making up words at this point.
Obviously, we kind of, we try to keep these things to about an hour, and we could talk to you guys all day long, right? You guys are so much fun. You have such a cool dynamic. And I really love how far along you guys are with your dynamic, and having only really been at this a couple of years. But, when we talk about Hedo's thought of in circles with lifestylers, but it's a lot more than that. And you guys just touched on that a little bit. You touched on the mental aspects of it. You touched on some of the conversations that you had, and some of them were really hard to break away from. So in terms of your first trip, is Hedo just for swingers, or do you think it's valuable to people that are just non-lifestyle but really want to be around open-minded people? Where do you think the value is, having been there one time? I
really think the value is so much more than definitely the lifestyle or swingers. It's a great vacation just to shed your layers, well, pun intended with that one, but to break down your walls and really just be yourself. And whether you're maybe just thinking about being a lifestyle or have no desire to be in a lifestyle, Hedo is really for everyone, because no one's judging there. No one's going to think that you're a bad person for being any sort of way other than the way you are. Like, no one will judge you one bit at Hedo. And that's what really, really stuck out to me as one of the great things about Hedo is how welcoming everyone is. And that goes from the employees there to all the guests. It's a great place just to have a great vacation, even if you're not a swinger. So.
And gosh, like the sexually charged atmosphere, you could have a lot of really great sex with your partner there. Just, being there and feeling the atmosphere and watching people. Yeah.
Did you feel like this charge come over you, like in this empowerment in like how you held yourself and how you felt being a woman there?
Yeah, I would say so. I learned that I'm horrible at taking compliments.
Welcome to the club. We have cookies.
Absolutely. Just taking clothes off and just doing your thing. And oh gosh, it was empowering. It was really awesome. Very much so.
Right on. So since you got your virgin trip under your belt, and if you're talking to somebody else that's on the fence or thinking about going, or maybe they've booked their first trip, what would you tell that person? This is a must do when you go. What kind of advice would you give them for must do?
I think we would say don't overthink things, but make sure that your communication is on point with each other, and just go for it. Like, do the activities at the pool, especially if you're with the Rascals, because they're epic pool parties.
You're going to have to get the corn painted on your chest for me one more time.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to need to up my game this next time, though. It's going to be even better than it was before. I got a corn stalk that was coming popcorn on my chest to try and win a contest, and it was
awesome.
Walking down the beach wondering why people were staring at me weird. I mean, I was like, why are people looking at me weird? And then I looked down, I'm like, oh, that's why.
That contest was all about having to out fucked up Mickey. So I think that was pretty great, and you did an awesome job, and it gave me an excuse to stare at your chest all afternoon. So it's really fun.
There we go.
Exactly. So good.
All right, so
win-win for everyone.
Last question for you guys, and we will let you guys get out of here because, again, we could talk to you all night long, and we really, really, really enjoyed not just meeting you, but getting to call you friends. So we really want to, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for spending that time with us and doing it here on Casual Swinger. But I have one last question for both of you, and we already know the answer, I think, but I want to know why. So the question is, would you do it again? Would you go back to Hedo as first-timers having the experience you had? But why?
Well, we are going back again in November, like you said before. You left the cat out of the bag. But we're so excited. But there's a lot. There's just so much more to explore, We just, again, we over-communicate everything. And there's some things we can improve on to have an even better vacation. And I think we're hooked by now. I think it's going to be definitely a yearly thing. As many times as we can go, we're definitely going to do it. And there's just so many reasons to go back. It's just so relaxing and so fulfilling in every aspect of what we love about vacations and what we love about the lifestyle. It's amazing. So.
Everything kind of rolled into one, I think, is a good way to describe it. All of our favorite things.
I love it. I am literally Snoopy dancing over here.
She really is.
And I never, and I hardly ever do the counter like this far out from November, but I have it going now.
She really does.
Yes.
And you guys haven't even been on one of our cat cruises yet, which are utterly epic.
Yeah.
So you guys are really going to enjoy it.
We're doing that in November, correct?
Oh, yeah.
So Thursday's Cat Cruise Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is a great
And we
party.
sell out the cat cruise. We sell out the big boat in November. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So, by the way, this is a great opportunity for anybody listening to this who's thinking about being a rascal for the 2020 trip. We are damn near sold out for November. So if you are still thinking about going, make sure to hit us up on casualswinger.com/travel with us. Or you can just go to the website and click on Travel with Us. There is a link there to Rachals Rascals where you can find some of this information. You can find out how to book and become a rascal like our friends Jess and Derek. Jess and Derek, you guys are fucking amazing. I can't say enough good things about you, but I'll probably try, especially, we're an hour into this and we keep throwing praise at you, but you deserve every single bit of it.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Thank you so much. I know this was a big ask to come on here and talk about your first experience because it's really, close to your heart, maybe even a little intimate, right? So we appreciate it so much and can't wait to see you again.
Oh, we can't wait to see you again.
You guys are awesome. So.
Yeah, seriously awesome.
Mal, you want to tell everybody how they can find us, and we'll let these poor people off the hook for the evening.
I sure can. We're Casual Swinger everywhere. That is Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and is there any other social media platforms? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. We're on the dating sites SDC, Double Date Nation, Cassidy, SLS, and Quiver.
That's right. Goodness
awesome.
Gracious. All these crazy places. Folks, this has been a time with the virgins, Jess and Derek from Hedo. This is, what is it? Feels like the first time, I think is what we call it.
Feels like the very first time.
You just had to get that out, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a blast. You've been listening to Casual Swinger.